Hey familia, welcome to your daily dose of spice, where we inject a little bit of positivity into your day each and every day. Today we are streaming to a couple different platforms, so if you are joining us, feel free to leave a comment so that we can say hi to you. Let us know who you are and where you are from, maybe what you're up to today, and always open to more conversation and comments about the topic. So today we are on our day 3 of our 3-day series all about supporting or how to triage mental wellness in the workplace or the classroom. And so day 3 is all about how we can create that sustainable wellness ecosystem for supporting our mental health in our workplace or your classroom or wherever you might be. So we're streaming to a couple different places. We've got our Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube familia over here. And then we've got our lovely Instagram familia over here, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube is what I meant to say over here. And then later on over to Twitter. So if you're watching this live, definitely say hi. Hey, I see some people over here, Mr. Tim Sohn, and feel free to say hi. We'd love to give you a shout out and welcome you. So if you are new here, welcome to the familia. My name is Alex Rosa, and I am your local educator, results coach, and holistic nurse. And all of March, we are diving into the Sea of Spice, and March is almost done. So the Sea of Spice stands for career. So all of March, we've talked about how to support our career wellness, how to spice up our career wellness. And I already see some lovely comments coming through. Miss Mayra, buenos dias, mi amor. Te quiero mucho. I love her very much and all of her support. Thank you so much. And to everybody over here on Instagram. So all of March talking about career wellness and how to spice up your career wellness. And mental wellness is such a huge part of our careers, right? Whether you're a nurse, you're an educator, you're a caring professional, right? You've got people that you are caring for and that you are involved with and seeing pretty much every single day in some capacity. So how can we support our own mental wellness, but then how also can you support others' mental wellness? So day 1, we talked about noticing the signs of declining mental wellness. And then so day 2, we talked about what kind of interventions that you can take to intercede in that when you start seeing that. What kind of interventions can you do? So if you missed those days, definitely go back and watch day 1 and day 2. So you can check that out. And so day 3, we were going to continue with talking about how we can really create that wellness ecosystem. So once we've got something in place, how can we support it? How can we keep it healthy and sustainable so that we are building that really great environment that you know that you want to work in and that you want others to work in there with you? Because we know that if it's a great environment and it's supportive, we're more productive, we're more happy, we are just doing better things, we are feeling better, right? Outcomes are better for patients, for students, for all the things. So it's only a win-win situation. So how can we create and sustain that wellness ecosystem? So I'm going to talk about decreasing stigma. I'm going to talk about modeling recovery, peer modeling, and then I'm going to talk about support, so peer support. So there are 3 things I'm going to touch on. I know that there can be a whole lot more. So if you think of a really great idea, feel free to leave it in the comments section. Always feel free to help with the conversation more and to add to it. So like I said, I'm only going to talk about 3, but I have plenty more that I can talk about, and I love teaching about this topic. And this is only a little tiny snapshot of my career module that I have in my 90 Days to Spice program and all of my teachings that I do. So talking about decreasing stigma, and I know I've got some great familia members over here, especially on the LinkedIn side, that love talking about decreasing the stigma, and they bring light and awareness to things that some people might not want to talk about. And mental wellness sometimes is not something that people want to talk about, but definitely something that we all encounter personally, professionally, in all the ways, and it can really affect us. And we know that our emotions, our emotional health right now, all about holistic health, our emotional health can have such a direct impact on our physical health, right? So our mental anguish, our mental pain is just as real and just as, I don't know what the word I want to use, but it's just as real as physical pain, right? It can feel just the same, can hurt just the same, and cause just the same problems. So we need to acknowledge that. So how can we decrease the stigma? Well, we talk about it, we normalize it, we don't shy away from it. We acknowledge it. We're all human. We're all going to struggle with things. We are all going to go through situations. So decreasing that stigma around mental health and mental wellness, and talking about and making available resources to support your mental wellness. So if you are the leader, you are the teacher, you are the organizer, whatever your role might be, if you're in that leadership position, you want to be the one to lead that charge, right? Decreasing the stigma around that. So you have to check yourself and tune in with yourself. And are you okay with that? Are you okay with talking about your own mental wellness? Not that you got to let everybody know your business, but are you okay with acknowledging that sometimes you might need a little bit of help in that area? And what kind of things do you do on the daily to support your mental wellness? So it starts from the top down, So what are you doing? And how are you decreasing that stigma? Because you're going to set the tone for everything else. And I also want to flip that and say that it can also be a really grassroots type movement, right? You can be in an organization. Don't let that stop you from trying to create a movement, from trying to create motion around this, because all of us know how we're all sort of feeling. And if there's a bunch of you that are just not feeling well and not feeling supported, be that one to kind of lead that charge. And nothing is stopping you from creating that movement within a small group of you. You all can do these same things. You all can reduce the stigma. You all can provide peer support. You all can provide modeling for each other, which is just going to spread and permeate through the rest of your organization, right? So whether you're the leader or if you are working in that environment, you can definitely put all of these into practice for yourselves, no matter if you are a group of 2 or 3 or if you're a group of 500. It can work just the same, and it works wonders. It's pretty magical. So reduce that stigma. Next is modeling. So peer modeling and modeling recovery. So what does that look like? So the thing that I can contrast this to or compare this to is before and after pics, right? And especially like anti-aging, makeup, or weight loss, working out, muscles, whatever. Like if you can show a before and after picture, it becomes very clear. Like you did, like this was you before, then you did this, and this was you after, right? Sometimes with mental wellness, it's not that easy, right? Even though, like if you've ever watched intervention, right, and you see the before pictures and then after the intervention, you can clearly see that there is a difference in those people. It's subtle, but you can definitely see that there's a difference. Not as dramatic as like weight loss or surgery or anti-aging or something like that, but there's still a difference. So try to think, if in your environment, how can you do your own before and after? How can you model that? How can you display that? How can you talk about it? How can you normalize it, right? How can you demonstrate that in your particular environment, that before and after, okay? And what did I write here? Show solutions. What was I trying to think about that? I think I was I'm trying to think of what I wrote about on my notes. So, and then another way that you can do it is, as far as like demonstrating, just think about what kind of messages are you having in your environment. So if you did go back to work, right, and more people are going back to the workplace, wherever you are, what kind of environment are you setting up? What kind of messages are the objects around you giving you, sending you? And that's another topic that we could totally go on, that I just thought about. There's a whole teaching about what the objects around us are saying to us. So what is that environment setting up? Is that environment that you have set up or that you work in? And this could be your home, right? If you're working from home, what kind of environment do you have around you? Is it setting you up to be open and be willing to talk about your mental wellness? Okay. Then the third is peer support, is peer modeling. So we want to have our peer members, the people that we work with or that we're around, to feel that we support them in what we are doing. And that if you are a person who does step out and says, hey, I'm struggling here, I do need some help with things that are going on, that you are going to have people that are going to support you, that are going to step up. They're not going to look at you like, what is this person talking about? Or kind of like ostracize you or make you feel weird or bad because you're reaching out. No, we want people that are going to support you in that area. And our peers are our greatest influencers most of the time. So we want to make it standard that we are going to be having some peer support. And what I mean by standard is standard check-ins, right? Make it a part of your day-to-day routine. Have some kind of activity for yourself or for people that you are working with or in the classroom where you are allowing people to check in with their mental wellness. How are they feeling about the day, about themselves, about what is coming up? Have that check-in, because too often we are going on autopilot, and we're not paying attention and picking up on all the cues. So really taking a few moments to breathe, to check in, making it standard, making it part of the routine, making it part of the routine going forward, right? So that it is sustainable, right? So that it's part of our everyday routine. It's sustainable. It becomes normalized. It's not something like, hey, why are we doing this? No, it's part of the day-to-day activity, honey. Morning, evening, afternoon, whatever it might be, right? And we talked about in that some of our interventions, like what kind of routines are we setting up throughout the day? Well, to keep this as a sustainable thing to support mental wellness and create that ecosystem, right? We got to get everybody involved. So we got to make it part of the day, part of the activities, okay? So I see a couple comments coming through over here. So Dr. Wanda, very nice to see you. Thank you for stopping by. Dr. Wanda says, being vulnerable and talking about mental wellness starts with us so that you can destigmatize the conversation. Mental health is part of our health, and the medical world is starting to realize it, but not addressing the way it should be. But they need to be trained. Exactly. Knowledge is power. Exactly. Jonathan, thank you, honey, for sharing. I really appreciate it. Hi, hun. Really nice to see you. Miss Susan from LinkedIn from Ontario. Hey, honey, nice to see you again. I've noticed you stopped by a couple times. Must always be in tune with your mind, body, and soul. Amen, honey. 100%. I love hearing that. We've got a couple people here on Instagram. Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it. So this is kind of the conclusion of my 3-day series on triaging for mental wellness in the workplace or the classroom. And I love talking about this topic. I really feel like we need to integrate more of that, our personal and professional lives. We really need to integrate that more and make it more acceptable and have more resources available to people in more creative ways than just the go read this pamphlet or go sign up for this class. Like we need to take more ownership and really tailor things to what kind of environment are we in? What kind of people are we dealing with, right? So if this is something that you would like to start doing in your organization, I love teaching about all of this, and I love creating customized programs and curriculums for different organizations. So definitely reach out to me. We can talk about your environment that you have going on, your situation, and how we can really improve it and support that mental wellness initiative that you want to put in place for your staff, for yourself, for your students, whatever the situation might be. Feel free to reach out to me. And if you just want to talk about your own mental wellness or your mental wellness routine, what you have going on, always here for a consultation. You can definitely reach out to me. Just go to any one of my social channels or just hit up my website at getyourspice.net and you can see my scheduling link there and you can connect with me. All right. I think I saw a couple comments. Oh, yes, of course, girl. Of course, Susan. Nice to see you. Do you agree there is more mental illness than physical illness? What do I say about that? I would say that probably mental illness or mental unwellness is more common than physical, for sure. Only because I've seen how the mental part precedes the physical. So that's how I know that. And all the years that I've done nursing, 100%. The mental part of it usually comes first and precedes a lot of the physical stuff. And I know for sure that the mental is directly correlated to that physical. Like if you are not in that mental space, that mental space, that's directly going to impact your physical health for sure. Just look at your blood pressure, just look at your stress levels. We just had that in the clinic the other day. Said the body can't lie. Blood pressure's high, heart rate's high. Then we find out the backstory. The body don't lie. So the numbers and all of that will always tell the truth. All right, guys, that is all I have for today. You can always find all of my episodes available via podcast as well. I always do audio versions of everything as well. And I have the link down in the description below, so you can check that out as well. So we are going to be finishing up our C module, our C of Spice tomorrow. And then we will head on to our next module in April. Oh my goodness. All right, guys, thank you so much. I'm about to hit this outro. And as always, for a balanced life, just add spice. Take care and see you.